Hello everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I wanted to showcase one of the projects that I've been working on, which is a copper golem security guard slash assistant slash front yard, sorry, not front yard, front desk. I did not come up with this idea myself. Originally I found it on YouTube from a channel, Sit Back in Minecraft, but I wanted to challenge myself to build this without watching like a tutorial or watching the rest of his video. And I just wanted to see if I could get this to work. So let me demonstrate how to actually use it. It is essentially just a glorified item filter, but what I have right here is the badge to enter my office. So I'm just going to put this here, and he's going to come in and take the badge out of this chest. And then from this view, it kind of looks like he's going back there and like scanning something. But as you can see, after I put the correct item in there, he put it in the chest, and then it went through some redstone. And then here, I already have one here, but this is where the badge will turn up from that chest over here. Now let me demonstrate what will happen if you, say, put the wrong item through the chest. So let's say I put a pair of shears. So let's watch him do this. And then from this view, it looks like, he's taking it and he's going back there and doing something. I don't know if you heard that, but there was some redstone going on. And then what we have here is a return chute for unauthorized items when you have items that are not the badge coming through. So it ends up back here. So I am now behind the scenes of the item, the badge check. And let me show you the redstone behind how everything works. So let's start with this chest right here, which leads to an item filter. So the copper golem will put the item from the copper chest into here, which then goes to this standard item filter. So this hopper down here is preloaded with all of the items that I want to accept, being the badge, and then I have these 4 pieces of filler dirt in the other slots, just in case someone throws dirt in here. It still will go through the rejection pathway because it's not renamed. So any other items that can't fit into this filter hopper will automatically go through this rejection pathway, and I'll go through this later. But here is the redstone for the item filter itself. And what we have here is a comparator. So when the badge enters the filter hopper right here, the amount of items briefly increases, and this causes the comparator to read a stronger redstone signal. This then unlocks the hopper for a brief moment and allows it to then go inside this dispenser, which is then shot out. I'll show you guys where it leads then more into a second. But right now this redstone torch is on, and when you have a redstone torch on, basically it locks the hopper so that the hopper can not it can't accept new items, but when the comparator sends a redstone signal, it will briefly turn the redstone torch off for a brief second, which will then unlock the hopper and allow the badge to flow through to this dispenser, which will then shoot out the paper. Now, this right here, just make sure that we don't just lose the badge somewhere and I can have it returned to the chute over there inside my office. So this is just a pretty standard. I just have packed ice. I had a bunch of packed ice sitting around from a previous project, and I was like, well, this is the perfect time to use it. I think the maximum that you can go with like water is like 9 blocks, which was perfect. You can use hoppers, but hoppers are slower. I think using water and ice is the fastest way to transport items in Minecraft. So anyways, right here I just have a soul sand bubble elevator, and then it then leads to another little water stream, which then leads to the return chest. I'm just gonna break this. And then here is where that leads to. So let's go ahead and talk about the rejection pathway. What I have here is, now this is where the items are going that are not, you know, from the filter hopper. So then goes to a dropper, which will shoot the item into this little column right here. And then you want to make sure that the dispenser can, you know, automatically drop an item once it's been put in there. So what I did was I went ahead and used a, Cappy just joined. So right here I have a comparator, and it will read that an item has joined, went into the dropper, and then it will then take a sticky piston up there, and then the observer will read that there has been a change detected, which is the stone going up there, which will then power the dropper to send out the item. And then I just have the same thing going on here, which is just a line of packed ice, which then leads to a bubble elevator, which then leads to another line of packed ice that leads to the return chute. If you're wondering what these observers are over here in this little block, it is for another build, redstone elevator, so don't worry about that. But here's how the door itself actually opens. I have the, oh, Copy left. But I have the item filter leading to a pulse extender right here made of comparators, which then leads to these two iron doors, which will open. You do want to use a pulse comparator, because if you don't use one, the iron door will stay open for like only like maybe a brief less than a second. I have no idea how many ticks, but you probably just want to have one open for convenience. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video and it was informative. This is a really fun build. It looks really cool. It's one of the cool new things you can do with a copper golem. And I'll see you guys later.